What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about ranking the champions that I would want to take to rank 4 as 7 stars, one champion per class. I don't want to do any more than one because that kind of inflates the idea of rank 4s, and we're in 2025 now. I suspect non-top 90 banquet players will be getting their first taste of a rank 4 sometime within the beginning of the year. I don't know anything specific about that, but I'm hoping that within the next couple of months we see some guaranteed acquisition of a rank 4 for non-top 90 banquet players, very similar to what happened with rank 5 6 stars with the Eternity of Pain. The beginning of the new year, everyone was able to get that 4 to 5 gem from EOP, so I'm hoping something similar happens like that down the line in 2025. But let's just get right into it. Just going to go class by class here. I'm pretty certain that I have every champion marked off as who I would want to take up. So I'm going to just go from the top to the bottom here. In terms of science, I have one, but particularly like one other champion could potentially be my option, but I really have one that I would stick with, and that is Quicksilver. I love Quicksilver so much. He is still such a useful character. I find use for him so often. I am a massive fan of him. I've been on the Quicksilver hype train since day one. If you aren't aware or familiar with the channel, when Quicksilver came out as a 6-star, I pulled him from the early access bundle. That's the only time in recent memory that I've ever gotten a character from an early access bundle that I wanted, like the featured character. So that was 2 or so years ago, I think back in 2022. And since then, I've been a Quicksilver fanatic. I use him everywhere. He's so solid. Just he might not be a 10 in any category, but he's an 8.5 or a 9 in every single piece of the kit that he has. Every single thing he has is like an 8 or a 9 in terms of usefulness. He has like every single science champion piece of utility you can possibly have, aside from like Power Sting. He really has it all. The slow, the evade, the whiplash, the physical damage, the enhanced dexterity window, the power control. Just so much stuff is baked into this kit. And he would be a very easy rank 4 for me. Very easy science rank 4. I would also consider Deathless She-Hulk, but I think she's perfectly fine at rank 3. Personally, I would much prefer having Quicksilver up at rank 4 over Deathless She-Hulk, but hey, you never know what can happen. Maybe I'll change my mind going forward. But for right now, my science option for rank 4 is Quicksilver. Now, the skill class. This is a class that I don't particularly love my options for rank 4. I don't have a champion that I am jumping at the gun to take up. There's no champion that I'm just absolutely chomping at the bit to take to rank 4. There's a lot of great 7-star skill champions, but the difference between the great ones and the not so great ones is pretty drastic. Now, if I had to pick one, which, if we get a random crystal from some sort of content, I will have to pick a skill champion if I get skill. If I had to pick one, I would most likely pick Bullseye. And the reason I pick Bullseye is because he is, yes, a defender primarily, but he is such a solid... excuse me, something in my throat here. He's such a solid and consistent attacker that a rank 4 7-star Bullseye would just become that much more of a solid and consistent attacker. He has really unique utility with the guaranteed crits bypassing miss. He has the evade bypass as well with the true accuracy. Again, the guaranteed crits is so massive for a lot of different things. Just having that damage always at all times. I like the perfect release mechanic. I find Bullseye to be very enjoyable, and he is super useful. I just would not be chomping at the bit to take Bullseye to rank 4. If I have to, I will, and I won't be like upset about it, but I won't exactly be thrilled because I would have preferred taking up other champions. But if I had to pick a skill champion, it would be Bullseye, because he is probably the best one out of everyone here for me to take up. Black Panther Civil War would be super interesting, but I would probably have to invest all the way to 6200. But I don't know, maybe that's worth it. Maybe that's something to consider down the line. He would be the only other champion I'd consider. Maybe Crossbones or Masakre too, but right now it would definitely be Bullseye. He is the front runner for the skill class. Mutant class is super cut and dry. It's not even a conversation. It would be Onslaught. I'm really hoping that Onslaught can be my first rank 4, whether we get that from Catalyst or, a Crystal or a generic gem, whatever the case may be. I'm really hoping that I can make Onslaught my first rank 4. He is the character I want to take up the most, if not the most, like tied with one other champion. But Onslaught's crazy. I don't need to tell you how insane Onslaught is. You should be aware that he is the best mutant in the game and arguably the best character in the entire game. So I'm not going to spend too much time harping on the fact that I want to rank 4 Onslaught because it's pretty written on the wall. It's also written on my face, as you can see. I love Onslaught. I am a massive fan of this champion. I have been since he came out, and I'm so happy to have him as a 7-star, especially 7-star Sig 200. Thank you, Autumn of Agony Gauntlet, for giving me the additional Sig stones to take him up. And he's insane, so I will absolutely take Onslaught to rank 4 given the opportunity. Cosmic, this is the class where things get a little muddled and things get a little interesting because there are a lot of fantastic Cosmic champions that I would want to take to rank 4. Just to name a few: Superior Iron Man, Venom, Beta Ray Bill, Hyperion, Medusa, Gladiator. But narrowing it down to like sort of my top 3 and then my overall number 1. My top 3 for Cosmic are Serpent, Thanos, and Scream. But the Cosmic I would take up first, the Cosmic I would take up out of all of them would have to be Deathless Thanos. If Onslaught is number 1, Deathless Thanos is number 2, and they honestly might be tied. I want Deathless Thanos up at rank 4 very badly. This character is nuts. If you haven't seen any gameplay from him, first of all, what are you doing? Go watch some gameplay. He's crazy. But second of all, the ease of which he can access his damage and utility is not to be understated. He is a fantastic, unbelievably powerful champion that is not necessarily difficult to use. Now, I'm not ranking him because he's easy to use, or I wouldn't be ranking him because of the ease of use factor. I would rank him because he's insane and arguably the best Cosmic 7-star available. I don't think it's really an argument. I think it's either Thanos or Serpent, and they're pretty close. Like, they're pretty close together on the Cosmic 7-star list. But Thanos is crazy, and he's so useful on his own. He's insane with the Deathless team. Even just a couple of those synergies just elevate him to a whole other level. And I would be thrilled to take Thanos up to rank 4 as a 7-star. Moving on to Tech. Tech is another interesting class where there are definitely a couple of options. Like, I have a top 3, and then, of course, I have a narrowed down singular one. My top 3 would be Shocker, Sentinel, and Stark Spidey. But if I had to pick one champion to take up, I think it makes the most sense to go with Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. So it's kind of a swerve. I bet a lot of people were expecting me to say Shocker, but I love Stark Spidey a lot. And I think having him awakened, having him at this 7-star level, if I don't invest in him as high as I possibly can, I'm kind of wasting the potential of the character because he just gets better and better and better with the ranks. Whereas someone like Shocker, you have him at rank 3, like mine is Sig 200. You don't necessarily need that additional rank because nothing is surviving already. Now, obviously, I would not be upset with a rank 4 Shocker, and I would use him very often, but it's really between these two. It's between Shocker and Stark Spidey. I lean more... Excuse me. I don't know what's going on today. Let me take a sip of water, actually. Slow down a little bit. I lean more on Stark Spidey nowadays for rank 4, but there is also a very clean and clear argument for taking up Shocker. He's Sig 200. He's already rank 3. He would gain more benefit from the rank up. But Tech is muddled. Tech, like, I have options, but there's not a clear-cut winner. I want to say Stark Spidey for now, but honestly, my opinion could change by tomorrow, and I might say Shocker. But right now, I'm going to say that Stark Spidey is the champion that I would want to take up to rank 4 in the Tech class. And then finally, Mystic. Mystic is another one where I really don't have a clean-cut number 1, but I could pick somebody out of this list. Ironically, I was testing Purgatory this morning, and I was having a lot of fun with her just at rank 2. So I would love to get her up to rank 3 at some point, and rank 4 would be cool, but we're not talking about Purgatory right now. The champion that I would most likely take up to rank 4 is Werewolf by Night. I think he has the best argument to go up. I'm a huge fan of Werewolf. I think he's an exceptional character. He just gets better with the rank. He gets that increase in the rupture damage from the rank. And if you know anything about Werewolf, that's a flat damage. So, like, weakness and attack rating reduction doesn't reduce the damage of his ruptures, so any additional rank is just going to make him that much stronger. Plus, he has a lot of health, and that's useful for, some defensive situations in battlegrounds, and as well as just being a tank. I mean, he already has 98,000 health at rank 3. At rank 4, he probably has 117, 118,000 health, something like that. That's nuts. That's crazy. To have six-figure health pool is absolutely insane. I know Thanos has one already, but, just we're talking about Werewolf right now. Werewolf is most likely my number 1, but I think things would change if I awakened my Kushala. So I would not take Kushala up unawakened, but I would take her up awakened. So as of right now, my number 1 is Werewolf, and I'm sticking with that. I'm like very firm on that. But if I were to awaken Kushala or somehow awaken Purgatory, I think those two would also be in the running. But for right now, I'm going to stick with Werewolf. So to summarize, the champions I would want to take up, if you skip to the end of the video, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you enjoyed the 30 seconds you've seen so far. In science, I say Quicksilver, with an honorable mention being Deathless She-Hulk. Skill, I say Bullseye, honorable mention being, we'll say Crossbones. In Mutant, I would say Apocalypse. No honorable mention. There is no other character I want to take up in the Mutant class more than APOC. Or more than, I said APOC. Onslaught. Onslaught is my number 1 with no honorable mention. Cosmic is Thanos with an honorable mention of Serpent/Scream. Probably more so leading Serpent than Scream. But Thanos is my number 1 for Cosmic. Tech is Stark Spidey, and Shocker's like right there. They flip-flop back and forth, so it's Stark Spidey / Shocker, and then honorable mention being Sentinel. And then Mystic would be Werewolf, and honorable mention being Kushala if I were to awaken her, and then we'll throw another honorable mention with Purgatory. But that is going to do it for my personal rankings and wants for rank 4 7-star champions. Let me know who you guys want to take up down in the comments below. If you have like a top 5 of champions you want to take up, or one champion from each class, kind of like what I did, I'd be very curious to read those comments and figure out what people want to do. So if you liked this video, and I hope that you did, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. I just crossed 40,000 subscribers. Thank you all very much for helping me hit that goal within the month of January. And now the goal is 50,000, and then after that 60,000, and so on and so on. So we're on the road to 50K. I would love to hit that by like the middle of 2025. I would be incredibly thrilled if we could hit that by around April or May of this year. So that's the goal right now, hitting 50K around that time period. So if you want to help me out in that goal, please consider hitting like and, of course, hitting subscribe. Thank you all again very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.